I would get better and I'd get worse and I'd get better, I'd get worse. But the one thing that I did, and that's kind of what this whole point of this video is, the one thing that I did that helped me the most was Welcome back to the Faith, Fitness, and Chronic Illness Podcast. I'm your host, Andrea. I am a nutritional therapy practitioner and a certified personal trainer, and I love Jesus. I've overcome chronic illness and reversed autoimmunity, and now I help others do the same. I am here to help you walk through your healing journey with direction and purpose, and it is my goal to provide you with this education for free here on the podcast. But please remember that this is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and that if you choose to implement anything that is discussed in these videos, to talk with your healthcare provider first. Please make sure to like, comment, and share. This really helps get the word out and helps people who are in the darkness of chronic illness and other health issues. Now, please enjoy the show. Hey guys, I finally moved into my new apartment, and actually it's been a while. I've been here for probably about 2 months now. I do have a roommate, so I'm in the confines of my room now, but it's all good. But I just wanted to apologize because I've been super selfish and I've been super self-conscious, and I don't want to be that way. I want to be vulnerable with you guys. I want to be completely raw and real with everything that's going on in my life. And sometimes I just kind of want to hide and I don't want to share parts of my life. And that takes away a lot of, I guess, not credibility. It takes away the reality of just being a real life person and making these videos for you. So I'm just going to be more intentional about being real and raw. And I've just had some insecurities about the way I look or what I'm going through or all of these things. But I'm going to be completely transparent about everything that I am currently going through and what I believe has helped me. So if you're tuning in, this specific video or podcast is going to be about POTS. I pretty much have recovered from most of my symptoms except my orthostatic intolerance, and it's been quite annoying. I've actually dealt with this pretty much my whole entire life, as long as I can remember it, probably around middle school. But I'm going to get into that. I'm also going to get into why I think it's important to work out. I'm a nutritional therapist and a personal trainer, and while I see people who work out still get dysautonomia, me being one of those people, I still think it's really important that you build muscle, and we'll go through, I've got some notes and articles pulled up, so we'll kind of talk about that. I'm kind of shifting gears with my podcast. I do a lot of interviews, which I still plan on doing. I think it's awesome to interview people, but I just want to talk to you guys, and share my knowledge with you and my experience and what I can do to help people. I would say I like to focus on chronic illness, but I can help a wide variety of people, right? I have some patients who just want to do body recomposition. I've been able to help them. I have some patients who struggle with infertility and hormones, and I've been able to help them. So there's just a wide range of things that I like to talk about, but mostly it's faith and fitness and chronic illness. So, but today, like I said, we're going to focus on POTS and kind of my story. So let's jump into it. I was recently listening to a podcast with, I believe her name's Michelle Shapiro, and of course Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. I love her. She kind of coined the term that muscle is medicine, and I completely agree. Let me pull up this, if I can find it. I thought I had it pulled up already, but so let me back up first. Let me talk about my story, and then we can get into this. Let me just find this real quick. Before I go any further, I do want to say that I will be sharing symptoms. So if you are in some type of brain retraining program or anything like that where you don't want to hear people's symptoms, I completely understand, but I will share most of my symptoms, but this is a healing story, and I want you to know that I have recovered and I no longer experience most of those things. Okay, first I want to share my POTS journey and kind of what happened. So I want to back up, not all the way to childhood, but I did have a traumatic brain injury when I was in 7th grade. I had somebody come up behind me, grab my hair, slam my head into the concrete, and after that is when I started to get some POTS symptoms. I'd wake up in the morning and I would start to black out when I would go from laying in the bed to standing up. So after that, fast forward, I had a lot of unstable relationships. I had a lot of, my life was just ran by chaos. Like, I was just chaos all the time. I would wait until the last second to wake up and get out of bed, and I'd be rushing, and I was always in a rush. Chaos, chaos, chaos. And I gravitated towards jobs like that as well, where it was just like nonstop. I did a lot of waitressing jobs, and I had 2 jobs, or I was always constantly doing something. Like, I had to be always stimulated, whether that was caffeine. I guess a lot of people say this is like a type A personality. So being that way dysregulates your nervous system hardcore. So despite the brain injury, that happened. And then of course I liked combat sports because of the cortisol rush and all those things. So I did Muay Thai for quite a while, and I did get a concussion and some other whiplash, just a lot of head trauma and instability. I'm not diagnosed with hyper mobility or Ehlers-Danlos, but I definitely think I have some type of connective tissue disorder. My arms can bend the other way. Again, I'm not labeling myself with anything. I'll talk about that in another video. I think our identity is super important, and I find that my identity is in Christ. And my identity is that I am made exactly the way I was supposed to be made. Yes, there are influences in our environment that can hinder our health because we live in a fallen, sinful world. But ultimately, my body has been designed to heal. And I truly 100% believe that. So when I was in a relationship and I started to lose weight, and I was working 2 jobs, and I would go to the gym, and I noticed that I was like super weak, super, super weak. And I started to get like random panic attacks. I never had panic attacks before, but it felt like my lips were swelling up and like I couldn't breathe. And they would happen very sporadically. And then some things happened in my life where, I got out of the relationship. I had a really good friend move. And again, I'm not blaming these people. I'm just explaining kind of what happened. And then I got COVID. I recovered from COVID fine. But a month later, when my friend moved, I lost it. I went to the gym, and I was doing back extensions, and I started to get super dizzy, and I felt like I was going to pass out. I freaked out, and I got in my car really quick and drove home, and I sat in my driveway, and I was like honking my horn, like slamming on my horn to get my mom's attention, and she came out. She's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I need salt and like honey or candy right now. Like, I'm going to pass out." So she like hurried up and got all those things, and I ate it, I drank it, whatever. And within a couple minutes, I started to feel okay. But then I still felt this tightness in my chest, like I couldn't breathe. I went to Bible study that night, and I felt really weird. To the point where I didn't even drive. I had somebody else drive me. So the next day, I end up in the emergency room. I completely cannot, I feel like I'm going to pass out. Pre-syncope, tremors, like I couldn't stop shaking. And when I was in the ER, which I think may have not been a good decision because it gave me more health anxiety. They were checking me for blood clots and doing all these things. The emergency room did exactly what they were meant to do. They made sure I wasn't dying. I was dehydrated. But they did some orthostatic tests, and they're like, well, there is something wrong with your heart and your orthostatic tolerance. So go to the cardiologist. So I ended up going to this cardiologist, and this is when I lived down in Florida, and my sister actually was like Googling my symptoms, and she's like, it sounds like you have POTS. And I'm like, what is that? So I get to the cardiologist, and she says the same thing. She's like, it sounds like you have POTS. And she really wasn't attentive. She didn't like clinically diagnose me or anything. But she's like, you need to eat more food and drink more water and eat a lot of salt. And so I took her advice. I took it very seriously. And I started doing that. It got a little bit better, but I'm not going to go through all the symptoms I had. I can say that for another video if you guys have questions about all the symptoms I had. It was a long list of symptoms. I mean, probably every part of my organ system wasn't working. My digestive, my brain, my skin, like everything. Especially, I would get a lot of swelling and felt like I couldn't breathe. Hives, I'd get hives. Anyways, so fast forward, I would get better and I'd get worse and I'd get better, I'd get worse. But the one thing that I did, and that's kind of what this whole point of this video is, the one thing that I did that helped me the most was doing things even though I was scared. It was the hardest thing I have ever done in my life. I felt so alone and so isolated because nobody could see what I was feeling. Especially because I lost weight. People are like, oh, you look so good. Oh my goodness, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm dying. I'm not really dying, but I was in such a dark place. I had such severe fear and anxiety. I wouldn't even get in the car with somebody else to drive me. Like, that's how terrified I was of everything. Like, my fear was through the roof. And I'm saying this because I wish that I would have focused on brain retraining and anxiety management and all those things first. Because I dived down the rabbit hole. I mean, I got a Lyme diagnosis, I got mold toxicity. I mean, I went down the whole rabbit hole and I chased symptoms all day, every day, and I'm still trying to recover from chasing symptoms because it becomes addictive as well. I get a new symptom, I Google it, or I look up, I'm actually certified now in some of these things, so I've learned a lot. And so kind of that knowledge almost keeps me sick because I'm like, oh, I have this, well, it's maybe this, and now I need to take this supplement, and I need to make sure I do this, and it becomes chaos again. It's like I'm always chasing this chaos. So I wish I would have done brain rewiring first, but I was already kind of doing it in a sense of I would go and do things even if I was scared to do it. So I would like push my boundaries and do like exposure therapy. So if I wanted to go to Bible study and I felt dizzy or whatever, I would still go and do it. And I'd be happy I did it. Now, was I exhausted? Yeah. During that time, I would literally do one thing and I'd have to take a nap. I was totally exhausted. So I listened to my body, but I would continue to do things. And the most important thing, I think, also was that I created routine. Routine creates safety. Whereas before, my life was just complete chaos. I was always rushing to the next thing. So this gave me an opportunity to create routine because I lost my job. I lost both of my jobs. I had to drop out of college. I literally couldn't do anything for about 6-7 months. Luckily, I had a neighbor who I would go over and do some work for her. When I tell you, like, how bad I was, I couldn't even... So this person had a job where I would have to, like, take data from a piece of paper and put it into the computer. Like, let's say the number was 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like 1, 2. Like, I had no idea what was going on. I was so impaired and disabled that I could not function. And people kept telling, well, not just some people, like some family members, they thought I was crazy. They thought I lost my mind. And in fact, I did. I lost my mind. And most of my thoughts were just screams sometimes. Like, that's how severe it was. It gets darker than that, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Sorry, even like talking about these things kind of, I hate using the word trigger. It doesn't trigger me. It just kind of stops me in my tracks because I cannot believe how far I've come in just the past 3 or 4 years. Like, I would never imagine myself doing what I'm doing now. I work a full-time job where I am literally responsible for everything that I do. I have to manage everything that I do. I have another private practice where I help other people. I work out. I attend events. I eat out at restaurants. Like, I'm living my life. And my hope for you is that I can give you that information for free so that you have hope and that you can live your life too. Because one thing that was the hardest for me was that everything was so expensive. First of all, medical doctors are not going to help you. They're not. They're going to label you with anxiety or POTS and send you on your way. Finding a functional medicine doctor is going to be expensive. And I understand because I'm a practitioner now and things are expensive. The correct lab work can be pricey, but I want to be able to give you guys information for free and education for free so that you can help yourselves, because when I was sick, I felt so alone, but there were some people on the internet who shared the same stories, and that gave me hope. It gave me so much hope, and hope deferred makes the heart sick. I'll say that again. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. So if you get anything out of today, I hope that you just understand that whatever chronic illness you're going through, you can overcome this. You can. Our bodies were designed to heal. Now let me go into some technical things before we wrap this up. So Michelle Shapiro, shout out to her. She struggled with some chronic illness and things like that. So let me share a little bit about what Michelle had said with her story. So she has hypermobility, and she was basically connecting that muscle is part of our structural being, and for us to maintain structure for people who are hypermobile, we have to build muscle. We have to have muscle. And I encourage you guys to go look up Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, because she's great. But also, there's a couple other things why muscle is really important for POTS. So muscle growth, particularly in the lower body, so like your legs, ladies, growing your glutes and your legs, can significantly help maintain symptoms of POTS. This can improve blood circulation and strengthen skeletal muscle. This leads to better blood flow to the heart, reducing the intolerance, so orthostatic intolerance, and other symptoms like dizziness and fainting. So it increases blood volume, it strengthens your heart, but also when you work out, it produces other endorphins that make you feel good, and all these other things. And I know I'm saying this, and I know there's some people who have been muscular and still got POTS. I'm not saying that this is a one-size-fits-all, but I do think that you should continue to try to maintain your muscle. Because what happened with me was I stopped eating. I had lost about 50 pounds, and I think if I was to continue to eat and try and maintain my muscle, it would have not taken me as long to recover. But instead, I chased my fears. Chasing muscle and adequate amounts of protein and not being in a deficit and treating our body with respect and not rushing around, and all these things are going to help with your POTS tremendously. There are other things that can cause POTS. POTS is always a secondary condition. So any type of chronic infection, mold, bad air quality, Lyme, Epstein-Barr, long COVID, all of these things can cause our limbic system to go into fight or flight. And our nervous system, it's not that your nervous system is broken. Please hear me when I say this. You're not broken. Your nervous system is dialed all the way up. It is in survival mode, okay? And the way to get you out of survival mode is to create routine, create safety in your life. And I think building muscle is one of those things, because if you're building muscle, your body knows that it's safe because it's working, right? It's almost the same thing of like when women become infertile, right? It's because their body doesn't feel safe enough to carry a baby. So the same thing happens with this nervous system dysregulation. So to wrap this all up, so this video is not super long, I've been in some really dark places. And I would say that it's hard. I'm going to be transparent with you. I don't think I'm completely healed. But I know that I'm on my way. I've overcome a lot of challenges, and I continue to fight. And I'm so grateful for how far I've come. But I do want to say that I live a relatively normal life. And by normal, I mean I go to bed, like I have routine. If the routine kind of gets a little messed up, I do okay. My symptoms might flare up. But I have to realize that I'm never going to get my old life back, because my old life wasn't life. My old life was chaos. Like, you shouldn't want your old life back, because that's probably what got you into this in the first place, of this nervous system dysregulation. So, sorry, to wrap this up, I want to give you hope that you can recover from whatever chronic illness or pain or whatever you're dealing with. And to start off, you definitely need to create safety. So look up. There's a couple places where I think you could find some help for free. Dan, He posts every day on YouTube. His channel is called Pain Free You. He's helped me a lot. Totally free. You can reach out to me, obviously. And then trying to get out there and do some type of workout. My goal is to create a workout plan for people with POTS. So if that is something that you're interested in, please comment below. I'd love to see if you guys are interested in that. I'm going to kind of lay out a program of what I pretty much did to recover from POTS and start to work out again. It was a slow and steady building because I went from literally doing Muay Thai and lifting heavy weights to being bedridden and trying to, I couldn't even lift my arms over my head. So I'm going to kind of structure a program, but also put other details in there that's you need to give yourself grace because you're no longer that person anymore. You need to grieve that life, and now it's time for the next chapter, and you're going to start over on a clean slate. Think of this, what you're going through right now, as a clean slate to start over. Okay? That's what I did. I moved. It was a completely clean slate. I live a completely different life, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for that. So if you guys would be interested in some type of POTS workouts, chronic illness workouts, let me know. Comment below. Also, if you like this structure of the video, comment, let me know. I want to make more videos like this for my podcast and my YouTube. Just, again, to get that free information out to you guys. But other than that, I'm so grateful you're here. I'm so grateful you're watching this, and there is hope. All right, there is hope. So keep going through. The only way to the other side is through. So you got this. See you in the next one.